Who would win between Teofimo Lopez and Vasil Lomachenko?
Lomachenko. I feel.
Kid can punch though.
Yeah, you know, but the thing is, punches are really, really good when they can land it. You know, but when you get a guy that's so defensive like him and is very elusive, it's hard to do. But you know, he has a puncher's chance, yes. But that's the case in a lot of fights.
Just thoughts on that fight, and how would you?
Well, you know, I think Lomachenko is a hard guy to beat. You know, not to say that he can't be beat, but he's a tough fight for anybody. And you know, I haven't personally had the chance to sit down and study him, either one of them, for that matter of fact. So I don't know. You know, it might be something that I didn't see from this guy or that guy, but it's hard for me to say who's going to win. But I just know that the guys that Lomachenko has fought versus the guy that Lopez has fought. And, you know, I just think Lomachenko fought the better competition. And with his amateur experience and all of that stuff, and I just think that it's tough to beat this guy right now. You know, maybe when he get a little older, it'll be easier to beat, but right now, he's a tough guy to fight.
Gracias, Julio César. Francisco Serrano Loma or Teofimo, va a estar pinche pleitazo buenísimo. It's going to be a good-ass fight. Man, Teofimo has everything to pull it off. I still think Loma might win a decision, but Teofimo has everything.
Teofimo Lopez and Vasil Lomachenko. How do you break that one down?
Well, that's a good one too. You've got, you know, somebody that's up and coming. Of course, he's already a champion, you know, and you got Lomachenko, who's just a major superstar. So maybe the professor might give him a lesson or two. You know, that's the way I see it.
So you give the edge to Loma.
I have to, because of his experience. You know, because you could be good, you could have a knockout, you could do all that. But when you have somebody that has experience, they could take all that away from you. And then you'll be left wondering, oh man, I should have waited. You know, and there's a lot of boxers out there that it happened to them. You know, Fernando Vargas was one of them, you know, where he just, you know, he started knocking people out. You know, that's why we got to be careful with these prospects. You know, they're good, you know, but sometimes it's not their time yet. They have to develop, you know.
Teofimo Lopez and Vasil Lomachenko. What a fight, what a matchup. What's your outlook on that fight?
I don't see it as an interesting fight, to me, honestly. Why? Because, I mean, business-wise, I don't know. I'm not in the business of making money, but if you ask 10 random people if they know Teofimo Lopez, maybe one or two people will tell you I know Teofimo Lopez. So business-wise, I mean, it's not going to generate a lot of attention. Pay-per-views is not going to be I don't think it's going to sell a lot of pay-per-views. But the thing is this, two reasons. Teofimo Lopez is still young. He's a great fighter. He's got power. He's got good, beautiful movement. Smart kid. Stepping into a Lomachenko, he's gonna get beat because Lomachenko is a more experienced fighter. He's got the more experience. He has great angles. Like people say, oh, but Teofimo hits hard. Yes, I know. Linares hit hard too, and he got hit and he came back up. But I think that Lomachenko has what it takes to frustrate a young fighter like Teofimo Lopez. And I just think that even though Teofimo Lopez loses to Lomachenko, no problem. He loses to the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and nothing. I mean, you don't lose anything. But I just think it's not the right time. They should let this fight wait a little longer. I mean, give Teofimo Lopez a little bit more exposure with fighters with a little bit more of a name, even fighter on the way out, so people can start generating interest in a Teofimo Lopez against a Lomachenko. Because right now, like, you know, I mean, he's young. I mean, you know, you ask a lot of boxing fans, like, who is Teofimo Lopez? You don't know who Teofimo Lopez is? Well, no. Well, they know Lomachenko because Loma fought Salido and all that. But other than that, I mean, Lomachenko is such a great fighter, such a great technician, that he doesn't generate that attention to watch him fight. Honestly, and I'm being honest. I mean, you know, you got a fighter that goes in there and starts boom, boom, banging and exchanging punches and giving the fighters like a Juan Manuel Marquez, a Manny Pacquiao, you know, stuff like that. Okay, you know, you're gonna generate, wanna watch the fight, and we're gonna have a pay-per-view. But Lomachenko, he's a great fighter. He's such a great technician. Angles you can't find him. That is like, oh, after a while, like, wow, you know, I mean,
I will challenge this by saying this. Teofimo just knocked out his last opponent to win a world title with a straight right hand. What did Lomachenko get knocked down by Linares?
yeah, well, that's a great way to sell the fight. I mean, that's a great way to sell the fight to the people. Oh, he caught him with the right hand, but you cannot compare a Lomachenko to Teofimo Lopez's last opponent. I mean, come on. I mean, it's two different styles.
You know, the big fight next Saturday with Teofimo and Lomachenko. What are your thoughts on that fight, and who do you think is going to take it?
That's a great fight. That's a great fight. Two families that, you know what I mean, are very committed. You know, I got to give a special shout to the Lopez team who stepped up, you know, and just like Devin, you know, we saw them coming up through the amateurs. I would see Lopez Sr. on airplanes and stuff, and we would talk, and then the infamous sparring session that Devin and Tio have had.
What did happen in that sparring session, by the way, Bill?
You've heard it. You've heard it numerous times now, Sean. Now, do you want to talk about Lomachenko or you want to talk about Devin and Tio? You know what I mean? Which one you want first? Now, come on with it.
Well, I would.
One question.
I mean, I've heard. Well, because I've heard, you know, now that you bring it up, it's like I've heard, like a vague, you know, Devin got the better of him, or then Tio says Tio got the better of him, but like, can you give us a little blow-by-blow action of how the action went a little bit? I mean,
Tio didn't touch him.
Okay.
That's all. Tio didn't touch him. I mean, they got a chance to see what they were coming for was someone that's extremely fast. They also knew, just like anyone else that spars Devin, is that things aren't going to be that fast with their next opponent. So a lot of times when Devin has sparred whoever, if it was, you know, Jesse Vargas or Amir Khan or, you know,
Linares
or whoever, Sean Porter, Devin was always brought in for speed, to give a fighter a look at speed, you know. Yeah, they got a chance to see what Devin was all about, of course, and I hope that it helped them prepare for their next fight. You know, we've all, you know, of course they help us, you know, and that's one of those things about sparring is it gets you ready for your fight. Sometimes you have sparring that's just as tough or tougher than the actual fight. So, you know, we appreciated the work from them, you know, for sure.
and do you think they'll be able to come out on top against Lomachenko? I'm not really getting to a lot of fighters or trainers like yourself that are picking Lopez. Seems like everyone in boxing for the most part is picking Lomachenko.
Well, I'm only picking Lomachenko for the one reason of the quarantine, because as you see, things for a young fighter and a young team can kind of unravel a little bit, and we saw signs of Tio and his dad team kind of unraveling, but then they got back together, and with the Comey performance, and everything was firing on all cylinders. And then when the quarantine happened, it kind of then took everybody back. Fortunately for me and Dev being living not too far from me, we were able to get closer. So I can only hope that the Lopez team were able to get their synergy back, because in as far as social media, they weren't together. Now with Loma and his dad, they have that thing that me and Devin have been watching for a long time. They have that thing. So I think like words can be an action, silence can also be a message. While Lomachenko is operating in silence, his message to us is that he's working, right? Tio was talking, right? And his action was that I'm in Oklahoma and I'm just chilling and I'm just, you know what I mean? So for that brief time, me and Devin was under the belief that it's a disconnect, when it should have been more of a connection during quarantine.
At this time more than ever.
More than ever,
right.
Quarantine time, because us as a family, we connected, you know. So just for those reasons and those reasons alone, because the athleticism that Tio brings, also is there with Lomachenko's athleticism. Tio has a big right hand. Loma has power. It makes for just an interesting night of boxing.
Do you sense from the young man, Teofimo, that the confidence is fully there? Like, is he as confident as his father is? Or do you sense that from him?
They don't need any more confidence.
Oh, they're good on confidence.
They're good on confidence. For sure, for sure.
It's not a false bravado from they believe it. Okay.
How do you guys foresee the main card going? Lomachenko versus Tio?
Well, that's a tough one.
If you guys don't mind, if you guys can give me a breakdown, just an opinion.
For me, I think it's going to be Loma night because I don't see Teofimo bringing nothing that Lomachenko haven't seen before. All the experience that Lomachenko have, and I think he fought guys like Teofimo before. So I think it should be Loma night.
Now, you believe it's going to be Loma's night, but you guys believe it's going to go the distance, the whole 12 rounds. Or is Loma? What is that quit? That Loma quit thing? That, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I believe
anything can happen because I mean, Teofimo's got power, obviously, but is he going to be able to catch up with Loma and his experience? And his feet are so good, and he turns guys so good that I mean, I don't know. It's just going to be, if Loma can control him, it's going to be Loma's night. If he gets caught, it could go either way. You never know.
But overall, you guys are leaning a little more towards the more experienced fighter.
Yeah. Experience and skills.
You're like on the scale, the footwork, yeah.
He has, I mean, like I say, there's nothing he hasn't seen. He had, 400 amateur fights? I mean, come on, there's nothing he hasn't seen.
I know, it's unreal when you think about that, because I feel like some people forget to bring that factor in.
And that's where you learn. All that experience is going to come into play.
That I know you're very familiar with is Teofimo.
Yeah.
Do you? He's a 3-1 underdog, 2.5, 3-1 underdog against Loma. Do you think he pulls off the upset?
Yeah, I think he's gonna pull off the upset. You know
how?
But let me tell you this: if he does what he always do, come prepared like he always do, come sharp with his athleticism, with his speed and the tremendous power that Teofimo has. If he caught Lomachenko, he can put him down. He can definitely put him down. Look what happened with Jorge Linares. I was there on the fight, and just Jorge caught him up with a good right hand and put him down. But I can see that Teofimo has more power in his hands, you know. And I got a chance to hold the mitts for him just a few times, you know. As for his dad, and he has tremendous power in his hands.
So you think the power might be greater than what Linares had?
Yeah, definitely.
Significantly?
Not significantly, but I can see they have a little plus. How can I say it? Like more, it's more heavy-handed. Okay. It's more heavy-handed. Linares it was more explosive, like Felix. Boom! He just the straight hand was.
Was like Linares faster?
Yeah. Whoa. Maybe a little bit faster than Teofimo.
But it made you think? Does that mean?
Yeah, it made me think that maybe Jorge was. I think in his prime, I think Jorge was a little bit faster. Or he threw more punches than Teofimo. You know, Jorge was always deep, looking for the right punch. Teofimo is more like he wants to, get you with a hard punch, you know. But he got a good footwork. That's what I like from Teofimo. He got a great footwork. He's not gonna watch us flat-footed and look for you. He's gonna go making an angles, making mess, and if he caught on Lomachenko, he can put him down, man.
Do you think he'll be able to keep up with the conditioning of Loma, who throws more punches in the middle and second half of the fight than he starts off?
That's the other side of the story, you know, because Lomachenko, we all know his work ethics. He's a tremendous fighter with a tremendous spirit. Even though he only has 15 fights, by his resume, it's more than 300 amateur fights. Obviously, it's not the same, but he got the experience of fighting, the experience of competing. But I think on the second half, if Teofimo don't go to the body, and if Teofimo don't got a good strategy to slow them down, I mean, it's gonna be in the second half killing for Loma, definitely. But you can see what happened with Salito, you know.
Salido put the pressure on Loma and get him a lot of punches to the body, and that's why he put an upset with Lomachenko. So with that said, I would say that if Teofimo can invest in his body to slow down his legs, it's gonna be a tremendous fight, man. That can be even one of the best fights in this year.